This is a story of how one community is gently shaking the world. I'm Kavindya, and this is where I call home, a mesmerizing plot of isolated land, extremely strong yet deeply impoverished. Schools here have nothing but a single hall to accommodate over 500 students across 12 classes. For an average woman from my community, marriage meant leaving their job. Everything changed for us, as just as I had turned to my father, a brave police officer was brutally murdered. My mom and I left the city. She was convinced that this was the only way that I was going to afford a good education. She and I braved the unthinkable. I know exactly what it's like to survive on 2 meals per day. I know what it feels like to not be able to afford your school fees and to live in the constant fear that you would be evicted from your rented house at any given point in time. After 16 years, I went back home. Nothing had changed. But there was an unbearably crippling gap between myself and others my age. They were more resilient, hardworking, and talented than I could ever think of becoming. It didn't take me long to realize that this was nothing but the lack of education and the connectivity to opportunities. I knew that I was a part of the solution and that now there was no turning back. And on the 14th of April, without a penny in our hands, with just a few English books, 40 kids, and 12 volunteers, we co-founded Without Borders. Our vision was very simple. This wasn't a charity. We didn't want to create dependence in these communities. The only thing we wanted to do was to give these communities the tools they needed to empower themselves and to empower those around them, to become their best selves. So what exactly do? We go into communities and we find unused rundown spaces and convert them into Idea Labs. An Idea Lab offers 2 main services. Firstly, a comprehensive 5-stage curriculum focused on digital literacy, language skills, and leading change that creates change makers in their communities. And secondly, an Idea Lab also functions as a creative space for great ideas. Why does an Idea Lab become a sustainable development model? It's a social enterprise run by young local entrepreneurs with the capacity of being adopted across Sri Lanka and beyond. Our beneficiaries are our customers. They are locally owned, and it only requires a $5 yearly investment per student. The past 2 years have been life-changing to say the least. Harvard selected us as one of their top 5 trailblazing social startups for 2014. We were awarded the Queen's Young Leaders Award for our impact in the Commonwealth, and BuzzFeed even called us badass. But this isn't why we keep doing what we do. It's the lives we're changing and the communities we're transforming every day. People like Nama, who is already leading his own social impact project. And this is Johanna, who is already a budding librarian in our Idea Lab. And this is Madhuka, who is now a community-based entrepreneur running one of our Idea Labs. We want you to be a part of this incredible story, because when you support us, you invest in change makers like Madhuka, Johanna, and Nama, who in years to come will really be changing the world.